Hello, I'm Dr. Ray, Dr. Ray Connors. I conduct an online school called Dr. Ray's English in conjunction with Lingua House and their incredible resources. This is part of the lesson number 1 of a course on IELTS speaking. The first lesson is going to be on expressing opinions. Don't forget you can get back to us at my Facebook page at any time you like. So let's begin with our first lesson, expressing opinions. Here's some of the language we can use to express opinions. Expressing an opinion is the same as saying, I think. However, there are a number of ways to say it. The more ways you can say, I think, the higher your score will be in the IELTS exam. This is important in Part 1 and Part 3 of your IELTS exam. Let's have a look at these functions here. Firstly, expressing an opinion. We could say, in my opinion, it's better to take the bus than the train. Or we could say, personally, I think that professional sportsmen are paid too much. I believe that hospital staff are underpaid. I feel that computer games have a bad influence on children. I would say that the gap between rich and poor is growing. In my view, I think we watch too much television. Frankly speaking, I think we watch too much television. Remember, you can rewind this video anytime you like and pause it where you like to take notes or to practice. Now let's say that you don't have an opinion on the subject that you're being asked about. How do you express a lack of an opinion or not having an opinion? This, of course, could be used also as a time filler. Let's say that you don't know anything about some of these subjects. If you really have nothing to say, it's better to express a lack of opinion and wait for the next question than to keep silent. You might say, for example, I'm afraid I've never been interested in football. I'm afraid I'm not very keen on art. I'm afraid I don't know much about art. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with that topic. I'm sorry, I'm completely unfamiliar with that topic. Or, I haven't really thought about that. But then you might try to give your best answer anyway. Do remember that the fact that you do not know anything about the subject or the topic is not what the examiner is examining. He's looking to see how well you can express yourself. So, you can stop the video here and go over these things so that you make sure you know them. Let's next do some practice. By the way, don't worry about saying anything that's offensive. Unless you say something that is very offensive, there are no good or bad opinions. The examiner is only evaluating your ability to communicate your ideas. Always try to give an opinion if you can. Only express a lack of opinion if you really have nothing to say about the topic. You might like to explain why you have no opinion on this topic. It might be, for example, we don't have this tradition in our country, or I've never been to a football match. Instead of keeping silent or hesitating, which can negatively affect your score, of course, you can express a lack of opinion to also give yourself time to think about what you should say. Now, as I said, let's do a little bit of practice. Remember, you can stop this video at any time you like so that you can practice this. Using the expressions that we've learnt now, How would you answer these? How can the type of school you go to affect career success? What kind of art is most interesting? Do people in your country prefer to read books or watch films? Why do you think that some parents choose to educate their children at home? Is this a good thing? Why do people watch television serials? How important are role models? Have shopping habits changed over recent years? How? Has the popularity of soccer changed in recent years? Why do many young girls want to become models? Do you think the transport system in your country will improve in the future? What do you think are the typical character traits of people from your country? Do you think all successful people are happy? Do you think all happy people are successful? Is water pollution a problem in your country? What types of sport do you think are better? Team sports or individual sports? In what way does advertising influence what people buy? What do you think is better, public or private transport? Why? Has the level of crime in your country changed in recent years? How? What are the main problems facing children in your country? Why do countries have national holidays? Okay, so I hope you have tried to use, when answering these questions, the expressions that we learnt a little earlier in this lesson. That's it for lesson number 1. Not very long, are they? But they give you a lot of practice to think about, a lot of things to think about. Our next lesson will be on using time fillers. Don't forget, this is Dr. Ray from Dr. Ray's English, using the incredible resources of Lingua House. You can find me on my Facebook page. If you want to contact me for further lessons, please do. Of course, this one on YouTube is a free lesson. Other lessons you will need to consider paying for. But we will work out something that suits you very well. This whole course on video is going to be priced at a very good price. Thank you for your time. Have a nice day. Bye.